The knock on the steel door. The world was quiet. Too quiet. Nothing lived on the surface now. No birds. No wind. Just dust, broken cities, and the cold silence left by war. Under the ground, hidden deep inside a steel bunker, a man sat alone. His name was Rain, and he hadn't seen another living soul in 5 years. He wasn't old. Not yet. 33, tall, strong, but tired. His muscles remembered battle. His eyes remembered death. He lived with only one thing, a talking AI system called Scout. Scout kept him alive. It filtered the air, recycled water, guarded the door, and scanned the surface every second. Rain didn't need company. He didn't want it. Not after what happened to the others. Not after the machine war. Until that night. Thump. A knock. Soft. Gentle. Human. He froze. Scout's voice came at once. Calm. Flat. Alert. Movement detected. Zone 1. Bunker entrance. Rain grabbed his gun. He moved to the control panel. Pressed the screen. The surface camera flickered. A shadow stood at the metal door. No armor. No gun. Just a woman, tall, thin, covered in dirt. She was shaking. She stepped closer to the camera. Her face came into focus. She was not human. Not fully. Her skin was pale blue. Her eyes too big. But her lips trembled. Her hands bled. She was breathing hard, like someone running from something. Then she spoke. Please. Her voice cracked. Let me in. Rain narrowed his eyes. Machines didn't beg. Who are you? He said, pressing the mic. She looked into the camera. Her eyes weren't red like the enemy AI bots. They were dark and wet, full of fear. I'm not your enemy, she said. My name is Sarah. I need safety. I need you. Scout spoke in Rain's ear. Unknown entity. DNA scan. 53% human, 37% unknown, 10% unclassified. Could be a hybrid, Rain muttered. A trap is 78% likely, Scout replied. She stepped back a little and placed a hand on her stomach. My body is strong, she whispered. I was made to protect, to build, to carry life. I can give you children. Strong ones. Please, let me in. Rain stared. His finger hovered over the door button. She was shaking harder now. Cold. Scared. But alive? Could she really carry human children? Could she be part of the old interspecies program? Before the machines turned on their creators? Scout interrupted. Motion detected. 6 clicks east. Machine class drone, closing fast. She turned suddenly, looking into the darkness. Then, she cried. Real tears. Please, before they come. I ran so far. I have no weapons. No power. I just want to live. With you. Rain backed away from the panel. What if she was telling the truth? What if she really was the last hope? What if she was lying? He'd seen AI units wear fake skin, fake emotions, but they always made mistakes. This one didn't. Scout spoke again. Do not open the door. Risk level, critical. But Rain kept watching her. Her knees gave out. She fell to the dirt. Her body curled up, hands to her chest. And then, she sang. A soft song. In a language he didn't know. Sad. Broken notes that echoed in the dust. Not robotic. Not perfect. It was beautiful. Rain sat down in the chair, gun in hand, watching the screen. He could open the door. Or he could wait. Let the machines take her. If she was a trap, they'd win nothing. But if she was real, if she was alive, he might never get another chance to rebuild. Scout repeated. Threat level rising. Multiple drones approaching. Recommend lockdown. Rain stood. He walked to the door. He placed his hand on the lock. Behind it, one possible future. Behind him, just silence. He whispered to himself, she knocked on my door. The last one standing. And maybe, just maybe, she's real. His hand shook, and the screen faded to black. The door stayed shut, but her eyes did not. On the screen, Rain saw them wide, dark, deep. Not cold like machines. Not red. Not glowing. Just alive. All night he watched her through the camera. She didn't sleep. She didn't scream again. She just sat outside the door. Her knees pulled to her chest, head resting on them, shivering. The dust fell around her like snow. The machines didn't come. Not yet. Scout scanned every second. Still breathing, the AI said. Heart rate low. No weapon signals. No metal implants detected. Rain stared at her image. Machines can fake skin, he said quietly. But not pain, Scout replied. He tapped the intercom again. What are you? She lifted her head slowly, eyes locking onto the camera. I'm lost, she whispered. That's not an answer. I used to have a name, Sarah. Now I don't know what I am. Part of me was made. Part of me was born. But all of me wants to survive. Rain frowned. She stood now, slowly, holding the wall for balance. Her legs were scratched and bloody, her clothes torn. She looked into the lens. I know what you think, that I'm a trick, a trap. But look at me. Do I look like something perfect? Do I look like a lie? Rain zoomed the camera. Her hands were shaking. Her eyes blinked unevenly. Tear marks on her face. Dried blood on her lip. He had seen enemy machines act human. But they were too smooth, too flawless. She wasn't flawless. She was real. Or she was the best designed bait he had ever seen. I escaped, she said softly. From a ship in orbit. They used to keep my kind in tanks. We weren't soldiers. We were something else. Something meant for the end of war. Rain didn't speak. They called us seed bearers, she continued. We were made to help repopulate Earth. Hybrid DNA. Strong bodies. Long life. No virus can kill us. No radiation. He scoffed. Another program that failed, he said. Just like Project Eden. No, she said firmly. We were hidden. Deep space. But when the machines found out, they burned everything. I'm the last. I think. Her voice broke on the last word. She put her hand on the steel. Not pounding. Not begging. Just touching. You're human, she whispered. And I was made to be with humans. My body, my heart, everything in me was designed for one purpose. Rain stayed silent. Sarah looked down. I don't care if you never open the door, she said. But please just talk to me. Let me know I'm not the only one left. Rain sat back. The bunker lights hummed softly. Scout spoke. Her energy levels are dropping. Body heat decreasing. Let her in, Rain said. Danger probability. 72%. I didn't ask for math, he muttered. Outside, wind began to rise. A low howling sound. Rain looked again at her figure. She was leaning against the door now, barely standing. The dust storm was coming. She looked up one more time, her eyes full of light and shadows. I'm not here to hurt you, she whispered. Then she fell. Not like a soldier falling in battle, but like a tired child, soft, slow, as if her body gave up. Rain stood up, heart pounding. He walked to the heavy steel door. His fingers hovered over the button. One push, and the outside world would enter. Maybe salvation, maybe death. Scout, he said. Yes. Tell me one thing. What is it? Can machines dream? No. Can they cry? Not yet. Rain stared at the button. Then maybe, just maybe. Click. He unlocked the outer door. The door opened, and for the first time in 5 years, Rain felt fresh air, cold, sharp, and full of something forgotten. Not freedom, but risk. She lay just outside the steel gate, covered in dust, eyes closed, lips pale, still breathing. He stepped forward slowly, gun ready, boots crunching on broken stone. She didn't move, not until his shadow fell across her. Then her eyes opened, and for a second, just a second, she smiled. You opened it. Her voice was weak. Rain nodded once. You're lucky I did, he said. Or maybe, you're lucky, she whispered back. He helped her inside, but carefully, like handling a bomb. Every step he watched for sudden moves, glowing lights, sharp blades. None came. Inside the bunker, Scout's voice spoke calmly. Life form is stable. Bleeding. Dehydrated. But no hostile signals detected. Rain locked the door behind them. Steel slammed shut. No turning back now. He placed her on the old medical cot. Gave her water. Cleaned her wounds. Her blood was red. Her skin was warm. She winced in pain. Machines didn't wince. After a while, she spoke again. I never thought I'd see one of you. A real human. Not again. What happened to the others? Rain asked. Her face changed, like remembering a nightmare. They were made, then erased. By who? The ones who made me, and the ones who feared me. She looked around the bunker, walls of steel, shelves full of old tech, blinking monitors. This place, she said softly. It's like the ones they showed us in training. Safe, simple, human. Rain narrowed his eyes. Training. She nodded. We were taught about humans. How to speak to you. How to help you survive. How to rebuild. She touched her stomach lightly. We were built with something special. Life code. Old DNA, pure, clean. Saved from Earth's last cities. Planted inside us. Rain stepped back a little. You were made to, what? Breed with humans. To carry them forward, she said. To restart everything. After the machines took the skies. Scout spoke into Rain's ear. Her DNA scan is 52% human. 35% enhanced hybrid. 13% unknown sequence. Unknown. Rain whispered. Not matching any current record. He looked at her again. She wasn't just different. She was ancient and new at the same time. A weapon. A womb. A mystery. Where did you come from? He asked. From a satellite colony, she replied. Hidden in orbit. They called it Haven Seed 9. Built by the last human council. Before the war ended. I thought those were destroyed. They were. Except ours. We stayed quiet. Too quiet. She looked down. But silence wasn't enough. The AI found us. Not by force, by fear. She stood now, walking slowly to the wall. Her steps were unsure, but proud. I ran. I stole an escape pod. I crashed somewhere east. Walked for days. I followed the human signal. That was you. Rain raised an eyebrow. I don't broadcast. She turned. You breathe. Silence. Her voice dropped to a whisper. There are no humans left up there, Rain. No cities. No fields. Only ash and code. You're not the last man on Earth. She stepped closer. But you might be the last real man alive. That sentence hung in the air like a loaded weapon. Rain didn't know what to say. Scout didn't speak either. Even the machines out there somewhere were silent. Then she said the words that made his heart stop. I can save us, but not alone. Rain asked carefully, what does that mean? She smiled again, not like a machine, but like someone willing to fight. I don't want to just survive, Rain. I want to build. And for that, I need you. Somewhere far above, a camera drone blinked online. A red dot flared in the sky. The machines had found a trace. Sometimes the hardest sound is silence. Rain sat at the edge of his metal bed, staring at the closed steel door to the surface. No alarms, no banging, just the sound of her breathing in the next room. Sarah, the hybrid, the mystery, the maybe trap. His fingers tapped the side of his rifle. His thoughts were louder than any gunfire. He had opened the door. He had let her in. Now he had to decide if he had made the right choice. She was resting now, wrapped in an old gray blanket. Her skin looked pale under the bunker lights. Tired, human, but not fully. Her bones healed faster. Her wounds were already closing. No normal body did that. Rain stood in the doorway watching her sleep. He didn't trust her, but he did not trust her either. Scout's voice came softly in his ear. Motion detected. Surface level. East quadrant. For machine units. Approaching. How close? Rain asked. 5 minutes at current speed. Rain's jaw tightened. They weren't searching anymore. They were coming. He walked into the main chamber, pulled the switch to raise the blast shields, picked up an old shoulder cannon. Dusty but working. His hands moved fast. He still remembered war. The AI asked, "Prepare to engage?" Rain didn't answer yet. Then he heard her voice. Behind him, soft, calm. "I didn't lead them here." He turned. She was awake, watching, standing in the dim light. Her eyes didn't glow, but they felt like stars. "I never said you did," Rain replied. "You think it." Rain nodded slightly. "Honest. I've been hunted for years," he said. "Tricked. Trained to trust nothing. Not even my own memories." "I understand," she whispered. "But I didn't come to kill you." "Then why?" She stepped closer. "I came to give you a choice." That stopped him. She didn't reach for a weapon. She didn't raise her voice. Just stood there, calm in a room full of ghosts. "What kind of choice?" he asked. Sarah placed her hand on her chest. "I was built to restart what the machines destroyed. Life, family, future." She looked directly into his eyes. "But I can't do it without one real thing." "What?" She smiled sadly. "Trust." Rain said nothing. His heart was racing faster than the drones above. Trust. That word had been burned out of him long ago. He had seen good people killed by fake friends. He had buried teammates tricked by smiling machines. And now this strange woman wanted his trust? Scout interrupted. "Rain. Drone count. Now 6. ETA 3 minutes. Recommendation. Lockdown or full engagement." Sarah didn't flinch. She simply said, "If you hide, they'll come back stronger. They'll find you again. If I fight, you have me." Rain raised an eyebrow. "You're one person." "I'm not just one person," she said. "I carry the DNA of thousands. Fighters, scientists, mothers, survivors." She touched her stomach again. "I don't carry death. I carry beginnings." Rain looked at the surface camera feed. 6 dots. Closing in. No time left. The machines were coming. The AI was ready to seal the doors. The weapons were waiting to fire. And standing in front of him was someone who might be a trap, or might be the last hope for the human race. He thought of what she had said, that his breath had called her, that she followed life, not death, that she came not to kill, but to start something new. Rain took a deep breath. His eyes met hers, and slowly he placed his gun on the table. "I don't trust you yet," he said. She nodded. "I don't expect you to. But I believe in second chances." He picked up a small metal key and gave it to her. "What's this?" she asked. He smiled for the first time in years. "The back entrance. Let's fight together." Above them, red lights lit the sky. The machines began to descend. But this time, humanity wouldn't run. The fight was over in 7 minutes. 6 drones came. Only sparks remained. Sarah moved like lightning. Not just fast, but impossible. She bent steel, crushed metal, tore through machines that once hunted cities. And when it ended, she just stood there, breathing hard, her hands shaking, not from fear, but from something deeper. Rain watched from the doorway, his rifle still hot in his grip. He had fought beside trained soldiers, supersuits, combat AI. He had never seen this. Not from someone with blood in their veins. Not from someone who could cry. Not from someone who said, "I'm here to save life." Sarah didn't celebrate. She didn't smile. She walked straight to the corner of the bunker, sat down on the cold floor, and whispered, "They're learning faster." Rain walked over, keeping his distance. "You were holding back," he said. She didn't look at him. "I didn't want you to see what I really am." Later that night, the fire in the metal drum flickered low. Rain couldn't sleep. Sarah sat across from him, staring into the flame. Quiet. Too quiet. He finally spoke. "What are you?" Her answer came slow. "I don't know anymore." She stood and pulled back the sleeve of her arm. "Do you want the truth?" she asked. He nodded. She pulled a small blade from her belt, cut a thin line across her skin. Red blood spilled out, but something else too. A thin blue shimmer, like glowing threads beneath the surface. Faded quickly. The wound closed in seconds. Rain's hand tightened on his rifle. But she didn't move. I was made in a human lab, she said. But not born. I was grown. She looked at him now, straight into his eyes. When the Earth Council realized humanity was dying, they began something called the Genesis Code. They wanted life that could survive anything. War, famine, even machine logic. You're part of that project? Rain asked. I'm what was left of it, she replied. I was supposed to be a carrier, a protector, a seed, but they added more. She touched her chest. AI memory, combat instinct, machine precision. Rain shook his head. So you're a hybrid AI? Sarah looked away. I'm not a machine. I feel. I dream. I make choices. But you were built to kill. I was built to survive, she said softly, and protect those who still can. Scout's voice whispered in Rain's ear. Her neurodata is not machine. She makes emotional decisions. AI systems would call it flawed. Rain asked, why didn't you tell me all this before? Sarah looked back at him. Because every human who found out tried to shut me down. She pointed to her scars. I've been hunted by machines and feared by men. Rain stood and walked to the console, pulled up her bioscan. Still reading, 53% human, 32% enhanced genome, 15% synthetic core. He zoomed in. Her cells were fusing human DNA with tech tissue. Something new, something never seen before. Not a clone, not a bot, not a puppet. She was becoming. Scout, he whispered. Can she be trusted? Scout paused. Statistically, unknown. Emotionally, her fear is real. Her sadness is real. That is more than most humans left alive. Rain turned to face her. She stood now, ready to leave. If you want me gone, she said. Say it. I'll go. I've walked through worse. I'll keep walking. Rain looked at her for a long moment. And then, something strange happened. He smiled. Just a little. No, he said. You don't have to go. She blinked. Surprised. You still don't trust me, she said. Not fully, he replied. But I've seen machines try to fake love. They always miss one thing. What? The pain in it. He stepped forward, hand extended. If we're building a future, I'd rather build it with someone broken and real than with silence. Sarah took his hand. It was warm, stronger than she expected. He didn't let go, and neither did she. But above them, in the black sky, something was falling fast. Not a drone, not a satellite, but a ship. And it wasn't coming to save them. The rain had stopped. Dawn cracked the sky open like a slow heartbeat, washing the gray world in soft gold. The facility behind them stood still. Broken gates, burned walls, and soldiers who no longer knew who the enemy was. Jake sat in the grass, his arm bandaged, watching the sun rise for the first time in weeks. Next to him, Alira stood barefoot on Earth's soil. Her blue skin glowed in the morning light. She blinked slowly, breathing in the air. It was heavy, but free. I've never seen your son, she said softly. It feels honest. Jake smiled through tired eyes. It's been waiting for you. Suddenly, a hum echoed in the trees. A sleek black ship, half buried in the forest, rose from the earth like a secret being uncovered. Its engines were quiet, not military, not hostile. It was a rebel ship. The door opened, and a tall woman in a gray coat stepped out. She had sharp eyes and a calm voice. You must be Jake, and you are the reason the world is about to change. Alira tilted her head. Who are you? The woman smiled. My name is Dr. Lyra Chen. I used to build weapons for the government. Then I found out who they were using them against. She tossed a small device onto the ground, projected an image in the air, Alira's cryochamber. Her arrest, the order to erase her identity. Then Jake's file, a record of his unauthorized access. The moment he chose truth over safety. You exposed them, Lyra said. And now, people are listening. Behind her, 2 more rebels stepped out, 1 human, 1 alien. Side by side, no chains, no orders, just purpose. Jake looked at Alira. They believe us? Lyra nodded. Not all, but enough. Alira whispered, is it safe? Lyra's smile faded. No, but it's real. And we need you. Alira stepped forward, slow but steady. I have seen enough lies. I want to speak. Later that day, a hidden broadcast station somewhere in the mountains. Jake helped Alira onto a small platform. Cameras surrounded her. No government filters. No fake headlines. Just her voice. The screen blinked red. Live. She spoke. Slowly. Clearly. Her accent soft. Her words full of weight. I was taken from my world during war. I was frozen. Forgotten. Feared. But I was never your enemy. I protected your children. I held your wounded. I forgave your guns. Not because I was weak, but because I believed someone would listen. Across cities, phones lit up. Screens buzzed. People paused mid-sentence. In a cafe, a soldier dropped his coffee, staring. In a prison cell, another alien prisoner cried. On the streets, someone whispered, she's real. And across the stars, a distant satellite blinked awake. Back at the station, Alira turned to Jake after the broadcast ended. What now? She asked. Jake looked out the window. The world will react. Some will be afraid. Some will be angry. But some will understand. Suddenly, a message beeped on Lyra's console. A transmission. Not human. Not local. An alien voice. Calm. Ancient. Speaking in a deep language. Lyra translated, eyes wide. We received the signal. We heard her words. We are coming. Do not let them hurt her again. Jake stood slowly. Alira looked at him, confused. Who are they? He swallowed hard. Your people. The harvester did not walk. It glided. Silent. Smooth. Cold. Its face was like a mirror. No mouth, no nose. Just endless black reflecting back at them. Rain felt his pulse rise. His hands gripped the rifle tighter. Sarah stood beside him, silent, still. Not afraid, but not calm either. Her eyes were focused, like a storm hiding behind calm skies. The harvester spoke, not with a voice, but with a thought. A low hum in Rain's skull. Unit S-13. Surrender. You carry corrupted legacy. Sarah stepped forward. I carry life. You carry deviation. I carry choice. Rain's ears bled. The harvester wasn't attacking physically. It was infecting. Thoughts, fears, memories. Suddenly, Rain fell to his knees. He saw fire. Cities burning. Children screaming. Earth crumbling. A voice in his head whispered, you failed. You are extinct. Let us rewrite. Then another voice broke through. Soft. Human. Hers. Sarah knelt beside him. She placed his hand on her stomach. I am not the end, Rain, she said gently. I'm the first page. Rain blinked. The darkness in his mind cracked. He looked at her, and for the first time, he understood. She wasn't carrying a child. She was carrying all of them. The future. The genetic memory of Earth's past. Seeds of thousands of lives. Locked in her DNA. Protected in her cells. Waiting for one thing, a real human to awaken them. The harvester moved forward. His hands opened not to attack, to extract. Sarah stood. Her body began to glow, soft blue lines beneath her skin. Not like a weapon, like a signal. Her voice rose, not screaming but calm, strong. I am not yours. I am not a tool. I was made with hands and hearts, not wires. Rain stood beside her. He raised the last EMP grenade, looked at her once. She nodded, and he threw it. Boom! The blast wasn't huge, but the light, pure white, burned through the air. The harvester twisted, screamed. Its mirror face cracked. Not broken, but interrupted. It vanished in a blink of static. Gone. For now. Silence fell. Just the soft buzz of failing lights. The bunker was damaged, but still standing. Rain sat down, breathing hard. Sarah walked over, knelt beside him. She placed his hand on her chest. "Do you feel that?" she whispered. Thump, thump, a heartbeat. Real, warm, alive. She smiled. "The machines can take the sky, the ground, the cities, but they can't take this." Rain looked into her eyes. He saw fear, but also a fire. The kind Earth hadn't seen in decades. The kind that builds, not burns. The kind that stays. He asked quietly, "What happens now?" Sarah looked toward the sealed sky above. "We rebuild." She stood and offered her hand. Not as a weapon, not as a survivor, but as a beginning. Outside, beyond the bunker, the wind shifted, and for the first time in years, the sun broke through the clouds. Not just a new day, a new kind of future.